Hello my friends, this is Eric Merritt at DAZ 3D, and in this video we will be talking about the Surfaces tab right here. You can find the Surfaces tab in the Actors, Wardrobe, and Props activity, and we will be talking about both the editor and the presets pages. Alright, let's start off by talking about the tool you use to select surfaces. Oddly enough, it is called the Surface Selection tool, and it is right here in between the Universal and the region navigation tool. So let's select that, and when you roll over any object in the scene, you'll see these little highlighted areas, and when you select on one, if you are in the editor already, you'll click on it and it will populate the side navigation with a list of surfaces with the one that you've selected highlighted right here. So this is skin torso, and we see that there. Let's talk a little bit about the hierarchy of what you're going to see in the left side nav. We've got the object name here, which is Genesis. We've got the surface name right here, which is skin torso. And as you open that up, here, let's close this one down. As you open that one up, you get a list of property groups. So these properties make up what the surface looks like. So you've got diffuse, specular, and if you click on these, you'll see that it's just the pieces of what you see when you click on this. This is all of them that make up the surface, and here are all the individual property groups. And then inside the property groups are, of course, the properties. So let's talk about how to change a property. So we've got a big list of properties. You'll notice some have different little widgets than the other ones. Some have these little drop downs. Some have on and off switches, little toggles, and some have colors for their widget, so you can change the color of something, and some have either images already associated with them or the opportunity to add a image. So let's start out at the top and let's just talk about color for a second. We can just click anywhere on this bar there and we get up the standard OS color picker, and you can change that just like that. Let's undo that. Or you'll notice as you roll over this, you get the RGB values right here, and when you roll over one of them you get this double arrow. And watch what happens when I click down and scroll back and forth on it. You basically get this really nice little slider for each one of those colors, and in the viewport you get to preview that color with the rest of your scene, which is very, very handy. So that's one way, or one thing, is changing the color, and then adding an image underneath is another option. Let's go to this one. You'll notice as you roll over it, you get a preview of the image that's currently associated with it. If you click, you get a list of all of the images that are associated with the object. So these are all the ones that are currently being used on this Genesis figure. But you don't have to use one of these. You can select here and browse, and it'll bring up, there's that list again. And you can bring up any image you want to add to that property. Same thing here. You get the same idea there on one that doesn't have one but can have an image. So they're very simple to change. Now if you dial down, say for instance, let's take the diffuse strength down. You'll notice how that kind of blackens out. We're losing the color there. You can always go and reset it right here. Another way to reset is to alt-click. Just alt-click it anywhere here and it'll reset it as well. Alright, now we need to talk about multi-selection, and I'm going to command click all these areas here that are the same color, and we can select all of those like that, and we'll see this little 3 right up here. That means we have 3 different surfaces that we're going to edit all at once. And I'm going to select the green, and voila, we get them all changed all at once. Now I selected all these surfaces inside the viewport here on the figure, but you can also do that over here. I can command click, and well, let's close this down so we just get our surface list. And you can see that my selection set grows as I add to this list over here, or if I start taking them off, the selection set shrinks. So those are both very handy ways to select surfaces. Now let's go into the presets page for a moment, and with Genesis selected, we see that we've got 3 material presets that show up, and those can easily be applied by double clicking on them. just like that. I might want to point out that you don't have to be in the use the surface selection tool over here. When you select on a figure or an object inside the scene, it will filter by that object even when you have the universal tool. But you'll notice that how easy that is to switch. And let's undo that and go back to the green one, and let's save out our own preset. Because I'll tell you what, if you're spending a lot of time working on a material setup for one of your figures or some other object, and then you somehow mess it up, you're going to be very sad. So it's nice and handy to save all those out as a preset. So you can save it right here with this button, or you can go up to your Save As material preset right here. They both work exactly the same. Alright, this pops up. You don't need to make any changes. We are going to record all. Hit Accept, and then what happens is it suggests a folder for you to save it in, and it's My Library Presets Materials, which I like, so I'm going to save it there. I'm going to call it Wet Suit Green. And you notice it updates over here, and then we can apply it just like any other preset, like that. And you've just saved all your work when you've been in the Materials or in the Surfaces tab. That's it. We'll talk to you next time.